Well, we still have some winter weather on the way, but just rain for now. Could change to snow during the overnight hours. We've got the forecast coming up.
Columbia to the rescue. There's severe snow in St. Joe, and that means it could be a long night for local crews.
A Target 8 investigation, a utility bill has a first-time homebuyer drowning in digits.
I'm Jordan Vandenberg, live in Moberly, where it's wet, it's cold, but is it safe to drive? I'll have the latest coming up in a live report. KOMU 8 News at 10 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
Bundle up and get ready for winter. Nebraska, Iowa, now Missouri. Snow is falling on the Midwest. It's our big story for tonight, the first severe weather of the season. Good evening. I'm Angie Bailey.
And I'm Jim Reek. Thanks for joining us. We begin our team coverage tonight right here in the studio with Dave. Dave, what can you tell us?
Jim, thanks a lot. We've still got most of the western and northwestern corner of Missouri with the snow right now, from Kansas City up to St. Joseph, back up through Chillicothe, and just skirting Kirksville in Adair County. That's pretty much where the snow and freezing rain or mixed precipitation line is drawn. As you can see in Moberly and points south, it is just rainfall with temperatures above freezing almost everywhere in our viewing area. The forecast for the nighttime hours still calls for rain changing to snow. It'll be windy and cold with the morning time temperature at 23. Well, how about those accumulation forecasts? Here's Michelle Boga with more.
Thanks, Dave. As we head on into your overnight hours tonight, it looks to be not a whole lot of activity, at least here in central Missouri. As we head further on to the north, though, we will be dealing with quite a bit of precipitation in the form of snow. Most of that does stay well away from us, though. We are looking at about an inch of accumulation for the counties under the advisory still. That would be Sheridan, Saline, Randolph, and Monroe counties. Macon County, you will still see about 3 inches as we head on into your Wednesday, and then lighter accumulations down to the south. Here in Columbia, we're only looking at about an inch and a half potentially of snowfall. So the ground is still pretty warm. Most of that does look to melt off rather quickly, and we should see a little bit of sun as we head on into the late afternoon for your Wednesday. That is a look at the forecast as far as snowfall goes. Now, the main snowfall that we have been seeing has been well up to the north. Here's a look in Des Moines, Iowa, where they were seeing quite a bit of snowfall as we moved on into your afternoon hours. They have had totals come out of 11 inches in Des Moines, Iowa as of now, and they're getting a brief break, but that will change. In the next couple of hours, they will start to get hit with a second round, and that will increase the snowfall totals to right around 1.5 feet of snow. We will go ahead now and continue with our coverage live in Moberly. We have Jordan Vandenberg. Jordan, what are the roadways looking like? They look a little bit slick behind you there.
Indeed, Michelle. I got here on Highway 24 in Moberly just a couple of hours ago, and I'll tell you the temperature continues to drop, and that should eventually turn this rain into snow later this evening. I checked most of the roadways here in Moberly over those couple of hours, and I'll tell you the roads look like they're in good condition, but they remain very, very slick. Crews earlier today actually started preparing the roadways by placing this sand and salt mixture on the roads in hopes that it'll keep them from freezing. Because crews said it's not a matter of if it snows, it's a matter of when.
So we're prepared. We've been putting salt and sand mixtures down on the overpasses and on hills, intersections, trying to get prepared, for when it freezes this evening.
Sander later told me that if you approach a patch of snow, treat it like there was ice underneath and assume all possible risks. Reporting live in Moberly, Jordan Vandenberg, KOMU 8 News.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jordan. Find a heater and stay close to it. As Dave just reported, the northern part of central Missouri will get the brunt of any snow that we see tonight as well as tomorrow. Now in Macon today, residents flock to stores to buy salt and generators. A state road worker is gearing up with tools and supplies.
We work 2 12-hour shifts in a 24-hour period, and we just keep running roads over and over, keeping the ice off the bridges and trying to keep the slick spots down on the roads.
Well, today it's the old survival skills. We sell a lot of tube sand, a lot of salt, shovels. Everybody's stocking up for the first storm of the season.
Slick road conditions caused several accidents in that area, like this one south of Moberly. Macon MoDOT officials say they have 1,500 tons of salt, but won't be able to melt all of the snow and ice. They do hope, however, that all that salt can provide some extra traction to keep vehicles from sliding off the roadways. Jim?
Angie, thank you very much. Staying off the roads is what Mid-Missouri troopers are telling local drivers, but Columbia MoDOT workers are doing just the opposite. They're heading for St. Joe tonight, with the St. Joe forecast calling for 5 to 8 inches of snow and 25 to 40 mile-an-hour winds. Local MoDOT workers loaded their dump trucks with sand and headed for northwest Missouri. Crews left tonight with the intent of clearing major roadways on the way to St. Joe first. MoDOT says using workers from other areas of the state is not new. And if Columbia does get bad weather, neighboring MoDOT crews would then head this way.
Because we're pulling those resources out of areas maybe like Columbia, we pull our resources from maybe a little bit farther south, Lake of the Ozarks area, that aren't anticipated to get significant winter weather.
Kids in St. Joe enjoyed the snow today, and right now it is still snowing in northwest Missouri. Forecasters say there is about 8 inches of snow on the ground right now.
Wow.
In other news, Columbia police found a man dead in his home on Friday. The medical examiner says he might have died from hypothermia.
City of Columbia officials say they cut Nathan Curry's utilities back in September. Curry had not paid his bill since July. A friend of Curry's filed a missing persons report Thursday after not hearing from him. Columbia police officers found Curry's body in his home on Friday. Utility officials say they warned Curry about his late payment back in September.
We provide a letter notice. We are legally required to send out a letter giving at least 5 days notice before we terminate or shut off utilities. We also provide courtesy calls.
There are a number of Columbia organizations and agencies that provide utility assistance. To find out how you can get help, log on to our links and numbers section at KOMU.com.
The Cole County teenager charged with the murder of 9-year-old Elizabeth Olton appeared in court today for her rearraignment. Alyssa Bustamante pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder charges. Prosecutors say the 15-year-old killed Olton in October by strangling, stabbing, and cutting the girl's throat. Today's court appearance was short, and it isn't clear how long the entire trial might last.
Our strong considerations on that go first to the victim's family, second to what we think the community wants to be done in this type of case, and ultimately what we think a jury will do on the facts of the case.
This was the first time the judge allowed cameras in the courtroom. Bustamante will appear in court again in February.
Former Missouri House Speaker Rod Jetton is in the spotlight again, and not for his politics. On Monday, Scott County prosecutors charged Jetton with felony second-degree assault. Jetton turned himself in and paid a $2,500 bond. A probable cause statement says Jetton hit and choked a woman last month. The 42-year-old Republican served as Speaker of the House from 2005 until 2008. He now works as a consultant in Jefferson City. Jetton's attorney says his client is not guilty. Mid-Missourians should stay alert for a meter mistake that could run your bank account dry.
Once again, getting back to our top story, the weather. MoDOT has a map of weather conditions throughout the state, and a link to that can be found at our website, KOMU.com. Once again, the problem areas, northwest Missouri, north of Kansas City, north of St. Joe, and also north central Missouri. If you see snow, sleet, or rain, share it with us online. Twitter users can add the word MoStorm. We'll keep a lookout for those posts online. You can also share what you see on KOMU's Facebook page. Just search for KOMU TV. If you don't use either of those sites, email us at shareit@KOMU.com. This is KOMU 8 News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Could be any homeowner's nightmare, and it could happen to anyone, including you.
If you're not paying close attention to your water bill, it could turn on you, costing you much more than you could possibly imagine. In this Target 8 investigation, KOMU8's Brooke Hash tells us the story of a couple who's fighting to emerge from the depths of their own water bill.
On average, a family of 4 uses 6,000 to 8,000 gallons of water each month, totaling approximately $30. But what if one day you receive your bill saying you used more than 108,000 gallons? That's the case for Drew Comer and Chantel Douglas. Buying a house for the first time can be one of the most exciting and challenging times of your life. But Comer and Douglas got one unwelcome housewarming gift.
It's very, very disheartening and discouraging.
Their second month's water and light bill, with the water portion alone totaling $413. The entire bill adding up to $562.
That's more than half of our mortgage payment right there.
Columbia's Water and Light Department claims the couple used 108,000 gallons of water in just 1 month.
There's different things that can be kind of silent water users that you might not realize. If you have a toilet leak, it can range from wasting about 7,000 gallons a month to 96,000 gallons a month.
If that's the case, please sit down, do the numbers, and show me where it went.
There's no huge pool of water in our backyard. There's no huge pool of water in our front yard, under our driveway, under our house. It's just not there.
Days later, a meter inspector came to look at the water meter. He called Comer at work to say it worked fine. In a recorded phone call, Comer told the inspector what his bill read. The inspector said that's crazy and wanted to make sure there wasn't a billing problem. But Comer still wanted to know where the 108,000 gallons went. The inspector told Comer he didn't know. He told him to wait for the next month and apply for a leak credit.
If a person has a water leak, what we do is we have a water leak credit. If your average water bill is $30 and then you get a bill that's $100, well, the water leak was probably worth about $70. We split that cost with the homeowner, so they're responsible for half of it, and then we're responsible for the other half of it.
Even applying for a leak credit would still leave the homeowners with a water bill close to $300. Almost 3 months have passed since the couple's first calls to the city, and still no answers, just a bill for $562.
I lost track of how many phone calls I have made. I stopped making them because it's not working. It's beyond frustrating.
The battle is still not over. Just last month, Comer paid his current water bill, but the city applied that amount to the problem bill and gave him a late notice on his payment. After threats of shutting off their water and electric, Comer and Douglas had no other choice but to apply for their leak credit using a payment plan over the next 6 months. I'm Brooke Hash, and that's a Target 8 investigation.
The potential for winter weather may be a problem tonight, but cold weather is going to be the problem tomorrow night. The forecast next on KOMU 8 News at 10.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with Chief Weathercaster Dave Schmidt.
10:15 on this Tuesday night. There's a look at our First Alert Day Track camera downtown Columbia. As you see the darkening skies, it has been one of those cloudy, kind of a rainy day all day long. In fact, we've picked up just about 0.7 of an inch of precipitation since it all began about midday today. Here's the latest look at live Doppler 8 First Alert radar. And it's easy to see the white stuff, of course, is the snow. And that generally is tracking from, just south of Kansas City into Cass County, back up through Livingston, I should say Johnson County, and up toward Livingston County where Chillicothe is. That's kind of the snow line, so Moberly is still just rain. Macon is still just rain as well, and that's because temperatures really haven't gotten all that cool outside. Let's go ahead and take a look at the radar and satellite loop. There's the latest situation. As you can see, there's a little more rain in store for us as the evening and the early morning hours wear on. We'll show you the forecast coming up in just a couple of seconds. Look at the temperature, though, 39. Now, that is about 4 degrees warmer than it was when I last had the weathercast at 6. So temperatures have been rising during these evening hours. So obviously, driving is not going to be a problem as long as those temperatures remain as high as they are. Winds are out of the west-southwest at 18 miles per hour. 93% is the relative humidity. Now, speaking of the temperatures, here they are. It's 42 in Jefferson City. That's not bad. We're looking at 43 at the lake, 42 in Rolla, over in Marshall, 38 degrees. Moberly tonight is at 37 degrees. As we take a look at the surface map, Rain changing to snow later on tonight, probably during the overnight hours. That's probably going to happen, but our amount of accumulation really doesn't look all that impressive, at least in the Columbia, Jefferson City area. I think we'll have more snow amounts up to the north. For the day tomorrow, we're looking at a windy and cold day as high pressure moves into the area. Cloudy skies in the morning should give way to a couple of peaks of sunshine late tomorrow afternoon, but it's going to be cold as temperatures will probably be as warm as they're going to be tomorrow morning and then falling during the day. Here's a look at our precipitation forecast. For the moment, we're just experiencing rain showers. Later on during the overnight hours, we'll probably see a little bit of snow developing over Columbia, Jefferson City, Moberly, Mexico, the Lake of the Ozarks, and that's going to be on and off through the nighttime hours and might give us perhaps a ½ an inch of accumulation at most. Points south of Columbia probably will get none at all. Points north of Columbia could get as much as, say, 3 inches up around the Macon area. Moberly, something in the middle. For the nighttime hours, our forecast, the live Doppler rate first alert forecast, rain changing to snow overnight, windy and cold, some accumulation. Morning time temperatures should be around, say 23 to 25 degrees. For the day tomorrow, windy, colder, morning flurries. The wind is going to be the big story with a high tomorrow of only 26, maybe a peak or two of some afternoon sunshine. And then tomorrow night, watch out. We're back into the single digits, and this is the actual temperature which will generate dangerous wind chills as that wind will be from 10 to 20 with gusts at 25 to 30 miles per hour. It's going to be an unpleasant night tomorrow night. Very, very cold. For Thursday, again, about 27. Friday, 32, 36 on Saturday, and 35 on Sunday. Back up to just a little bit above freezing. Here's a look at the rest of your live Doppler rate. First alert, 8-day forecast. That's the weather we have for you this evening. It's 10:19. Here's a look at your Missouri Lottery numbers. We hope you are a winner.
With a new high school in the works, population in Northeast Columbia is expected to increase. City and county planning commissioners have joined together to draft plans to accommodate the newcomers.
The Columbia Planning and Zoning Commission says it wants to add more lanes to St. Charles Road. Engineers also plan on adding new roads north of St. Charles Road, connecting Lake of the Woods Road with Route Z.
I think that it's going to just bring future growth. We're hoping to have the 4th high school. That's exciting if that goes through on this side of town. I'm a parent of 2 boys. I'm excited about being about 2 miles away.
Since those are local roadways, state and federal transportation administrations will not be involved. For more information on the plan, visit our website, KOMU.com.
The Centralia tournament continues tonight. This time it was the boys' turn on the court.
Now, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Trevino.
Hi, everyone. The Missouri Tigers have made their way to Tulsa ahead of tomorrow night's game against Oral Roberts. Mizzou 5-2, ORU 5-4. The Tigers coming off that big win over the Oregon Ducks Saturday at Mizzou Arena when they beat Oregon 106-67, a 39-point victory for the Tigers after they held a 29-point halftime lead. Mizzou is unbeaten at home, 4-0 at Mizzou Arena. Away from home, though, a different story, as the Tigers are just 1-2 when not playing on Norm Stewart Court. A loss to Richmond in the South Padre Island Invitational Championship game, then last week's loss at Vanderbilt.
Let's see what takes place on the road as we go on the road to play somebody else, not playing in the cozy confines of Mizzou Arena.
Through the history of me playing here, I've been playing better on the road for some reason. And, I mean, I feel like it's 94 feet, 50 feet, 94 by 50, 10-foot rims. I mean, just got to play basketball.
Right, court size, height of the rims, the same wherever you play. A reminder, tomorrow night at 6:30, it's KOMU 8's Tiger Basketball Preview, leading you right into Tiger Basketball at ORU here on KOMU. The Mizzou women's team earned a road victory tonight at Bradley. Fayette High graduate Jezra Johnson became the 27th woman in Mizzou history to reach the 1,000 career point mark. With the win, the Tigers improved to 5-2. They host Texas Pan American Thursday night. The Centralia Invitational Basketball Tournament continues with boys games tonight, including Sturgeon against North Callaway. Centralia fans gearing up to watch a lot of basketball this evening. And North Callaway's Keaton Ostrich shoots for 3, missed, but Jake Lasley saves it with a layup. Then Sturgeon's Dominic Johnson goes outside, and senior Taylor Wells takes a 3-point shot from the corner, and he nails it. North Callaway then coming down court. It's Garrett Kelly with the steal for Sturgeon. Trey Chisholm lays it in. Sturgeon wins 75-51. Let's move on now and show you how Paris and Salisbury fared. Close game throughout the first half. Salisbury's Matt Koenig with a pass to Josh Rowling. Back into Koenig for the basket. Paris star of the game, John Gilliam, came off the ball screen and hits for 2. He had 35 of the 55 Coyote points tonight. Salisbury's Austin Springer then with the ball, but Paris gets the steal. Gilliam gets the shot at the other end. Paris wins it 55-49. The Macon Tigers sure did a number on the Hallsville Indians. Macon with some beautiful passing here. It goes inside to Jacob Lanier. It goes up, no luck, but the ball is tipped in by Josh Bailey. Hallsville starts out with the ball on this next possession for the Indians, but a couple of shaky passes. Bailey blocks it, charges down court to Cody Tate for the lay-in. Macon really had doubled up Hallsville on the scoreboard throughout most of the game. Macon wins it 83-40. And some wrestling. Helias and Hickman tonight. Helias heavyweight Charlie Oberkrom pins Hickman's David Craig. At 130 pounds, Nick Shea, 6th at state last year, pins Josh Brown. And you kind of got the drift, didn't you? Helias really in control of Hickman. Top-ranked Tyler Lathan dominated his opponent, Jeremiah Owens, winning 15-zip with a technical fall. Helias hammers Hickman 63-13 to improve to 3-3. Hickman winless at 0-8. A big baseball trade today involving former Mizzou pitcher Max Scherzer. The hard-throwing right-hander is dealt to Detroit in a 3-team deal involving the Tigers, Arizona Diamondbacks, and New York Yankees. The key players in the deal, outfielder Curtis Granderson going to the Yanks, pitcher Edwin Jackson to Arizona, and Scherzer and lefty pitcher Philip Koch to Detroit. Max Scherzer is 25 years old. The Diamondbacks drafted him with the 11th overall pick of the 2006 draft. Last season, Scherzer had a 9-11 record with a 4.12 earned run average in 30 starts. He struck out 174 batters in 170 in the third innings. Scherzer settles in the Motor City, joining a Detroit pitching staff anchored by ace Justin Verlander. And that is a done deal pending the physicals. That is sports. Now let's go back to the news desk.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Busy weather night. Dave will recap the forecast next.
Mostly rain out there on live Doppler 8. First alert radar up around Macon. A little bit of a mix of freezing rain, maybe some light snow.
We'll keep you posted if anything else happens.
You bet.
Good night.